My name's Sharif Haq, and what you're going to see in this video is a series of clips of me and my friend Curran basically pressure testing Richard Grannons Knife Offence material. And what that is basically a series of DVDs and an ebook which outline Richard Grannons' strategies for defending against knife attacks and knife threats. It's called Knife Offence because it's based on the philosophy of attacking the attacker, and it's not showing you how to use a knife. It is knife defense, but it's called Knife Offence. Okay, so in this drill what you're going to see is basically the attacker has his knife concealed and he has to draw that out before stabbing his victim, and the defender has their fence or de-escalation stance up, and it happens from conversation range. Now the technique outlined for this drill is basically as soon as the defender sees that knife being drawn from wherever it's being drawn from, he has to then launch a palm strike directly into the face of the attacker, and then a second one which acts more like as a push, and then at the same time creating distance and then escaping this thing. So what we found in this drill is basically, as an attacker, the guy with the helmet on, what me and Curran both found is that palm strike is very effective. You'll see us after that initial attempt to stab the victim, we kind of stop there after the palm strike. We're not stopping there because, you know, that's what the drill says. That's not what it says. It's not like, oh, you've scored a point, you win. The reason we stop is because that palm strike shakes you pretty bad, and we wasn't even doing it full force. And also that helmet, what it does is it can protect you from pain, because you know, it protects you from getting your nose broken or your cheekbone smashed or your lips split. But what it cannot protect you from is the concussive effect of your brain being shaken inside the skull, and that is of course what achieves a knockout. And so you see us stop there like that. The reason we do it is because it's very effective. Now as a defender, what I found personally is that on that initial palm strike, what I wanted to do was drop a bit of weight into it. I wanted to put some force behind it, drop some body weight into it to add more force to that palm strike. But what seemed to happen was, because there has to be a bit of a polarity change in your nervous system when you do that, because what happens is if you've sent all your weight, not all of it, but some of your weight into that strike, you've now got to stop and now reverse and cause a totally opposite reaction to happen in your body in order to get that distance. So what was happening when I did that, there was a bit of a time lag, and we found that I was getting stabbed at least once, and although the palm strike was very effective, I was also catching one on the way in before I made my kind of exit out. So when I changed that, and what I did was instead just use the power of my arm, so I hit and kind of moved back simultaneously. What I found was I didn't get stabbed because I was already out of there by the time the knife was drawn, and what the defender found was that the palm strike was still just as effective. So if you, it just takes a bit of training, I guess, to be able to develop enough power in the arm alone without relying on hip motion, just enough strike just from the arm. And I'm not a big muscly guy, and yet it still had a concussive effect on Curran. So if I can pull that off, then anybody can. Okay, so in the next variation of the drill, the only difference is now the attacker already has the knife out, so he doesn't have to draw it, but it's down by his side and it's already in his hand. And what we found basically was pretty much the same thing. It was just slightly more likely that the defender will get nicked by the knife, but the effect on the attacker and the effect on the knife person was still the same.